But let me
coming up.
ask, black people are not rising up due to the grace of God. They're getting these things through intimidation. White people are afraid of them. They're afraid to be called racist. Which is which is a better way for black people to rise up, to be married, to love God with all their heart, soul, and might, to love their neighbor as themselves, or to go around bullying white people and taking things away from them?
I'm not going to answer that because I
Why
don't
not?
agree with the premise of the
What
question.
kind of preacher are you?
What kind of preacher are you?
You won't even answer any question honestly.
Jesse, I'm going to go now. I think you're kind of an offensive person.
What do you mean?
You've been trying to do a lot of trick questions. You're coming across very narcissistic.
What does that mean?
Look it up. I don't want to be involved with narcissists anymore.
So
Okay? I'm going to go. You
you're
have a
gonna run?
blessed day.
Don't run.
Bye.
You're gonna run.
I
She's
think
running.
you're very offensive.
Don't run. She's running. What the? Let me ask. You said that white supremacy and domestic terrorism.
Are you married? Are you married?
No, I've been engaged a couple times, but God blessed me not to get married.
I can see why you're not, because you don't have a very high view of women.
No, I do. I'm looking out for them by doing the right thing, being right and doing right. But let me ask, you also said that white supremacy and domestic terrorism has infiltrated all of our American institutions. What do you mean by that?
White supremacy and domestic terrorism has infiltrated all of our American institutions. What I mean is exactly what I said. I think that the ideology of white supremacy has infiltrated all of our American systems.
And
Whether that's
what is white?
white supremacy,
Yeah.
it's the same as male supremacy. It's a belief that because you're white, you should have more influence over a country or over any regard, really, a church, whatever, however you want to say it, than people who are not white.
So is your husband white?
Yeah.
And are you white?
Yes.
And so are you a white supremacy?
Unfortunately, I think I was born into it. Yeah.
Are you you and your husband white supremacies?
Are we white supremacies? I hope not.
But you
That's
white.
something I continuously. It's not about being white. It's not about being white.
That's what you just said.
No, I said it's not right for people to be in charge of other people just because of their skin color.
And you define that as white supremacy, right?
Yes.
But so are you and your husband white supremacies?
No.
And what made you different? You're white.
It's not about being white.
But
It's
black
about-
people who hate you said that just the mere fact that you're white, you are a white supremacist. What do you say to that?
I would say I understand where they're coming from because I understand, that we are born. If we were white and we're born in America, we probably do have slave owners in our ancestry.
And so do you have slave owners in your ancestry?
I don't know, but my guess would be probably yes.
Why would you guess at something like that? Put your life at risk by going along with people who hate you because of your color.
I don't think I am putting my life at risk.
You're saying that you're white supremacist. You don't realize what you're doing?
No, I'm not saying that. You're saying that.
But
You're saying that,
are
not
you-
me.
So there are some white people who are white supremacists and some who are not?
Yes.
And how do you determine the ones who are not?
I think the ones that are speaking out against it, people that are saying, hey, let's deal with this problem in our culture instead of just ignoring it, and let's deal with it.
And so just the fact that you're white and born in America can make you a white supremacist.
No, not necessarily. That's not what makes you a white supremacist.
Do you believe there's black supremacists?
Black, I don't know, to be honest.
And why wouldn't you know that?
Because I don't know I just don't. I never heard of it.
Oh, you don't know.
Maybe if there was another culture, but it's not happening here.
Black supremacists is not happening here?
Not that I'm aware of.
So when you had the terrorist attack upon America all summer, by Black Lives Matter, this far left liberal radical organization that was founded by a bunch of fat black lesbians who said that they were trained to be monsters. They're against God. They're against the nuclear family. They're against unborn children. And that black supremacists, they went around burning and destroying and stealing and robbing and killing. Is that black supremacist?
I don't think that's a fair analysis of what happened.
You didn't see what happened on TV and other places?
Sure, I saw that there was bad things that happened.
Did those things happen? Did those things I just named, did they happen?
Yeah, some of those things.
So why isn't it fair then?
You said something about Black Lives Matter being fat lesbians or something.
They are fat lesbians. That's what they say. I'm not making it up.
They say they're fat lesbians.
When they say they're lesbian, they don't say, ain't no fat person gonna admit they're fat.
Do you think it's godly to call women fat?
If they fat.
Do you think that do you think it's loving to call women fat?
If they're fat, do you think that's loving to call the president the great white hope, what you've been saying about him and what he did in the past? Is that loving?
Yeah, holding him accountable.
So why is it unloving for me to not hold?
When have I ever said anything about Donald Trump being fat?
But it's because he's not fat, so you can't say it.
Well, first of all, he is overweight, and he's an easy person that I could call fat if I wanted to be an a-hole.
So let me ask. So you saw the terrorist attack upon America by Black Lives Matter, right?
I saw some attacks. I don't know if they were Black Lives Matter.
Is that black supremacists?
No.
When black people go around, not all, but when they go around knocking out white people because they hate them, is that black supremacy?
No, that would be wrong, but that's not black supremacy.
When they go around robbing and killing white people, is that black supremacy?
That would be wrong, but not black supremacy.
Amazing.
Do you know what black and white supremacy even means?
Yes.
No, you don't, because you keep asking me if someone does something bad, does that make them supremacy? No, that's not what this is.
And what made white people white supremacists?
Because we're in a culture where white people have always been in charge. And when you start seeing people of color rising up, there's always a huge backlash. Always.
And what do you mean, how they rising up?
Rising up in positions of authority, for example, where we see like Kamala Harris, for example. We've never had a woman vice president, specifically
and
a
it's
woman
unfortunate
of color.
we had to get her. But let me ask, black people are not rising up due to the grace of God. They're getting these things through intimidation. White people are afraid of them. They're afraid to be called racist. Which is a better way for black people to rise up? To be married, to love God with all their heart, soul, and might, to love their neighbor as themselves, or to go around bullying white people and taking things away from them?
I don't think that they do that. I don't think that is a collective issue. Yeah, does it happen? Yeah. But that's not a collective issue.
Which is the better way to rise up? In the grace of God or bullying white people?
I'm not going to answer that because I don't agree with the premise of the question.
What kind of preacher are you?
What kind of preacher are you?
You won't even answer any question honestly.
Jesse, I'm going to go now. I think you're kind of an offensive person.
What do you mean?
You have been calling women fat.
I didn't call all women fat. I just said if they're fat.
You've been trying to do a lot of trick questions. You're coming across very narcissistic.
What does that mean?
Look it up. I don't want to be involved with narcissists anymore.
So,
okay? I'm going to go. You have a blessed day.
Don't run.
Bye.
You're going to run. She's running.
You're very offensive.
Don't run. She's running. What the? That was Pastor Joy, Joy, Mecca Peterson, no relation. And she ran. Amazing.